Okay. Alright everybody, I'm sorry about that from earlier. We had to restart the stream. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, let me get the... What's the one like... Okay, people coming back. Okay, good. So let me see. Alt. Where's the one I had last time? I just had it. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry about that earlier. I had to stop the stream and restart it because it was acting stupid, but I got it fixed. I'm trying to find something I was working on. Thank you for the likes, I appreciate it. I'm just starting things right back up. I'm sorry I had to restart the stream. It was kind of annoying, but I'm trying to find something I'm trying to... Where is it? I just... Hold on. Where is it? That's so weird. Where is it? Oh, wait, I got... Yes! Where is it? I just had it. Did it delete itself? I don't think it did. I don't think it could. So that's with a T. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find what he was working on. Every time I hear a song, I think I'm in ShopRite. I don't know why. Every time I hear this song, I feel like I'm in ShopRite somehow. I really feel like I'm in ShopRite. I don't know why. Or like Shore Shave or whatever. Where is it? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. T. There it is. Found it. I could not find it for the death of me. Found it. Okay. Now, back what we was doing is that we need to focus on the idea of clothing. Now, what we did was we were focusing on the idea of Maka Alburns from Soul Eater outfit. We're looking for heavy, and I'm early. This is an undisputed fact, and you have no evidence to prove otherwise. Okay, I got you, bro. Round 2. What up? You guys are amazing. Alright, so let's get this out of the way. So, now, with Maka's Alburn's outfit, we have to realize that she's wearing a tie, and because I drew my character with bigger breasts, so it's going to be hanging off in a sense. I did not, this is not a fan art of Maka Alburn, so please get that out of your heads. This is just using her outfit. Look at it as like a costume skin for this particular dummy. Okay, so we're drawing this character because, not the character, but we're drawing the clothing of the character because she wears somewhat like uniform, okay? And this will play a lot in your character creation of what kind of character you want your characters to be, okay? So when you're drawing your characters, always be aware of the clothing of it. And I said it before from last time I was on. We look for the tightness, okay? Let me move Ben up for a little bit over here so she's not in the way. I love her, but she needs to move out of the way. Yes, the little cow, the strawberry cow. She has to be right here somewhere. Okay. She's our friend. Okay, thank you guys for the follow. Thank you guys for coming in. I do appreciate it. Okay, so right now, for this lesson, we're focusing on clothing. Clothing is very important. So I always say weight, thickness, thinness, type of clothing, gravity, and also, I think that's mainly what it is, okay? So what we're trying to look for is, how do we make our outfits seem realistic? Now, I learned this from Zoe Hung. Please, people, those of you who are in here, brand new, or if you're familiar with YouTube, there is a YouTube, I'll write her name. Her name is Zoe Hung. She taught me on YouTube how to draw clothing. I'm still learning from her as we speak, but I'm just giving you the information that I've learned so far. So what we're doing is that we're looking at things like a tube, okay? So when you're drawing clothing, look at things like a cylinder or a tube, okay? And the tube represents where you're going to be putting the direction of your clothing, the direction of your wrinkles, the direction of your folds, right? So what happens is when you're doing this is that the top of the circle, the side that you see the most is where the rings will be placed, or the direction they'll be going. So for instance, we see the top of this circle, right? Because we see the top of the circle instead of the bottom of the cylinder, the wrinkles will be falling this way. They'll be falling towards that, okay? That's how it works, okay? That's how you can understand where to place your wrinkles. I'm not saying where to place them, but the direction they are going, okay? So you don't put these bunch of wrinkles here, and then you put a wrinkle here, and you put a wrinkle here, and you're not really sure what the hell you're doing. It falls down because you have to think of gravity, okay? Depending on what your outfit is. Remember, if you draw a character that's wearing like thick clothing, 9 times out of 10, the thick clothing will lead to it being folding. It's going to be big, it's going to be hard, it's going to be heavy, so what I'm saying? So that's how you do it. Okay, let's go! You guys are in here. Thank you guys for being in here. Hey, Mini Joy, what's going on? Hey, Animation Procrastination, what's poppin', y'all? Hey, everybody! Hey, everyone's coming in. Thanks! No, I'm actually glad I restarted the stream now. Alright, guys, so what we're doing for this lesson, we're focusing on clothing. Those of you who are brand new, I hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. We're talking about how to draw clothing. So we're using Maka Alburn from Soul Eater as our example now. We're looking at thin clothing. So her outfit is very thin and close to her body, right? And because it's thin, it's gonna wrinkle, okay? So when it wrinkles, we're looking for those bumps, those edges. Not too much bumps. We want to have the compression to come through when we need it to be, but we don't want to just keep it just all wrinkly, because it does not feel realistic in that sense. And what happens is people draw the arm or the outfit way too close to the body, okay? So when you draw the clothes too close to the body, it'll come off as like a second skin, and you don't want that, especially if you're trying to draw your character in a way that conveys realism in a sense, okay? But like I said earlier, we did the Rock Lee outfit. Okay, and we always say that the skinner, the more tight fit the outfit is, the wrinkles will be more at the joints. The joints, like the armpits, the joints of the elbow and the joints of the knee, the crotch area, and all that stuff. And when if the character is bending like this specifically, it's bending, right? So since it's bending, what's happening is that right here, it will bend a lot towards whatever we're doing, but it's going to be falling with those wrinkles, okay? That's what we have to take in consideration, all right? So that's for tight knit clothing. Now we did the Goku outfit from Dragon Ball. Oh wait, let's put this out of the way. From Dragon Ball. Where is it? I had it. Oh, there it is. The gi outfit, the Dragon Ball gi outfit. So when we're doing the gi outfit, remember, the outfit is heavy, but yet loose. It's weird, because if you remember in Dragon Ball, when Goku takes off his outfit, it's heavy. It's weighted clothing, right? So what that weighted clothing does, it makes it more easier for people not to move. But because Goku is not the normal average individual, he can move quite freely into those outfits with no problem whatsoever, okay? So we have to take that in consideration. I'm gonna head out. Okay, later, Joey. Let's go, freaking go. MVP. Adios. I'm gonna head out, take my views. I already hosted you. Oh, thank you for the host. Thank you so much for the host. I appreciate it. Oh my god, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Joey, I appreciate it. I just noticed, because I'm using Restream, so it lets me know that I'm getting hosted. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So for this lesson, we're focusing on the gi itself. So when you're drawing Goku or females that's wearing the gis, must realize that the gi is thick but yet loose. Because it's thick yet loose, you have to play these in gravity. Because if you notice in all Dragon Ball outfits, most of their outfits are really loose but thick but yet heavy at the same time. It's thick in the sense of how big and wide it is, but yet heavy on how the wrinkles fall down a lot. It usually falling off the body of most of the cases. Okay, so that's something you have to take in consideration as well. Oh, I keep saying that because you have to hit this home. Weight, thickness, type of clothing, and gravity plays all in your clothing. That's how you can get the most realistic clothing much as possible. Remember, I'm using this dummy that I made for you guys to have an understanding. I might even make this in a PNG for my Patreon members. If you guys want this dummy to use in a sense of, if you want this dummy to be used for your clothing, please let me know and I'll drop it as a PDF file so you guys can play with it and understand it. I'll even leave the drawings I left in here for you guys to practice with if you want that. So let me know if that's something you want to see. Okay? So, man, common, this is lesson. Hello, I want, please. Hello, 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 hello. Hello everybody, I'm so glad you guys are in here, tired of life, and I'm here to say don't say that. Okay, is it Goku female? Okay, purple thing. Hello. No, we're not drawing Goku or our female Goku, but we're using the female for the understanding of clothing. So if you guys are having any issues when it comes to clothing, please ask any question. You can drop a question in the questionnaire and I'll answer your art question. So I'm an art teacher, so I'm trying my best to give you guys as much value in this. I share this with my cousin to draw. Thank you, I appreciate it. Now let's get into this. Now we're going to draw Maka Alburn's outfit. That was the 100% plan of this. So her outfit kind of falls into this idea of schoolgirl and orderly student. So she kind of likes keeping things orderly from Soul Eater, right? And because I drew my character with big breasts, this is not Maka Alburn that we know. This is just an outfit that I have this dummy wear just for the representation of this very thing I'm talking about. I need a lesson about later in coloring. I usually just keep my art black and white. That's good. It's good because like if you're learning black and white with your coloring, what happens is you're learning something called grayscale, or just you knowing your grays, your whites, your tones, your tints, all that stuff. That is good. So when you learn your coloring in that sense of tints, tones, and grays, it makes it easier for you to apply color later. This is something I do teach, I share this with my cousin. Okay, I'll just make sure I read everything. So stick around. I will mention this because that will be important if you want to stay for that. Okay, so I'm gonna make her tie kind of fall alongside the body of the breast, because remember, this is big. These are huge breasts to indicate this not only is just a female, but just for the sake of fun on its own. But right now we got the breast here, we got the collar, right? Now we need to connect the idea of the thinness of the shirt. I'm gonna make this different color so you guys can see it better, or I'll just make it black. Okay, we're gonna make this thin, okay? By making it thin, it'll make it easier for you guys to understand. I'm curious, do emails still go through if it's type it is where appear to restream, like will appear as the email. I'm not really sure, to be honest, because when I play with Restream, when I use Restream, it kind of does this thing where it doesn't let me know on anything really, except what Restream is allowing. So it's kind of annoying, but it's also helpful at the same time. So I don't know yet. I'll have to figure out some ways of letting the emails work in that sense. But anyway, so we're gonna make the shirt come down like this, but very gradually because it's a thin outfit. She's wearing a thin layer shirt, so we don't have to make it very skin tight, but yet we need to make sure that it makes sense with the outfit. As I mentioned many times before, let me see what you guys are saying. I don't want to miss out what you guys are saying. Wow. Jade. Okay. What cousin? Okay. For you, it is better to sketch on paper or digital. For me, I think mainly traditionally on paper, because I don't have to worry about like certain things when doing digital. But I'm only using digital because it's the best medium for it right now to teach. I would do this traditionally, but I think that'll take too long. And I can get away with a few things on digital anyway. I am learning body proportions and shape that are used for drawing the human body and perspective proportions. So what I'm saying for this, when it comes to proportions, you should always worry about proportions kind of last. You should worry about if you have an understanding of gesture, there are a few things you need to learn when getting a good understanding of the human body. It is shape / form. Okay, let me put that on the side here so you guys can see that. Form, and you should do this in this order too. Gesture, because when you master shape and form, like your shapes, your squares, your 3D squares, your ellipses, and all that stuff, you go to gesture. When you go to gesture, then you go to I wouldn't say perspective. I would go then you go to proportions. Proportions. The reason why you should go here and not here first is because because you can put this drawing into the best shape as you want, in the sense of like you can put this drawing, like how you can see here, you can make this drawing look as great as possible, in the sense of you being quite accurate where the body parts are. But if it feels too stiff, then you kind of ruined it. It kind of defeats all the purpose, right? Sometimes people would rather something that is unproportional compared to something that is proportional and still look robotic, and you don't want that. So what you want is that gesture. I was talking about this today in class, for today's class. You have to make it more lively in that sense, you know what I'm saying? So the best way to do this is for two reasons to get good gestures. One, have a good understanding of shape and form. Two, draw lightly. When I say draw lightly, what I'm truly saying here is, you ever seen traditional artists draw like, let me write this down, okay. It is bad to make anime character fan art using a human. No, it's not bad. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that's actually a good thing. If you can use I do it all the time. If you can use a anime character to do if you're using a real person to draw an anime character, it's perfectly fine. You're still drawing somewhat of a human. it's supposed to be representing of a human, so you're not doing anything wrong in that sense. You know what I'm saying? So that I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. Got it. Okay. Is it bad to me? Okay, I'll just make sure I read that. Okay. Thank you for everyone who's following. We're almost at 10,000. I really appreciate it, guys. Let's get to that 10,000 on TikTok. So right now, what I'm saying is, you ever seen a traditional artist like Mark Crilly, Prokopenko, who can I think of? I think Love to Draw, I think they're the YouTube channel. They tend to draw like this, very loosely, very like this, a lot. They don't even have great grip of their pencil. The reason why they do this is because they're not focusing on how accurate they're being. They're being loose because they want to bring life into the drawing, bring more fluidity to the drawing. That's what you want, because if your drawing is fluid in its movement, it will convey what you want it to be, because what you're trying to do is get the emotion of that drawing to represent whatever you're trying to convey to the viewer, to your audience, whether it be a webtoon, whether it be an animation, whether it be just a drawing, whether it be a fan art, whatever. You want them to be expressive as possible. I'd rather have an expressive drawing than one that is robotic because it's proportionally right. I think that's boring. You see what I'm saying? So you want things to look interesting. That's why I say go at curves. If you're having trouble with your gestures, go with the line of action. I think you those of you who are in either art school or been in art or heard this or look up on YouTube, you have heard the term of the line of action. That is something very important and something that most beginners tend to get this confused with. They think the line of action is the spine. That is not true. It is what you're supposed to be guide. It's a guide for you to use in a sense of how expressive you're supposed to be. But it's not a spine, okay? That's something that I love. Any tips on how to draw hair in anime style? Okay, so in anime style when drawing hair, you always have to realize something. Anime style is like, it's like any other hair. Hair is fluid as much as you want. But you always have to make sure when you're drawing your character, okay? When you're drawing your character, you have to make sure that there is a point of reference, because remember, your hair is coming from a specific place. Sometimes it could be several places, but usually it's coming from one place of the head. So what I mean by this is this. I put a point here, right? This point, let me make this a little bit easier. This point will be representing where this hair is coming from. So let's just say I made hair right now, right? I've been trying to learn that, and what's happening is this. The hair is flowing down like this. Remember, the hair is flowing down this way, right? And because it's going down that way, we understand where our hair is coming from. So let's just draw some hair real quick. And when you're drawing hair, you don't draw every little strand. That's something that a lot of artists kind of get lost in. You're supposed to draw hair in chunks, okay? You might learn this a lot in YouTube. You might hear this a lot. Is it easy to draw on paper and thing? No, it's easier. It depends on your preference, if anything. So what happens here is the hair, you need to make chunks, okay? Like big chunks, okay? The reason why you want this is because the hair usually falls in chunks in that sense. Oops, it falls in chunks in that sense, okay? You don't want it to be strands like this, because not only that's boring, but you end up drawing hair on the head and it feels matted, like someone licked their hand and slapped some spit and is on your face and looks strange. You don't want none of that, because that's disgusting. So what you want is this thickness of hair coming through, okay? Can you draw something using line of action? Yeah, okay, let me use an example. I'll come back to the hair in a second, because that's something that's like something I was on since I was in the line of action of talk. So let me use that as an example. Alright, those of you who are really wanting to know about that. So, any tips on drawing hair in anime style? Don't worry, Poppy, I'll get back to you on that question. So, like, let's use the line of action. Let me get a quick reference, for example, so we don't lose sight, because this can go left real easily if you don't use reference. And reference is your friend. Please never look at reference as an evil thing. Reference is your friend. Always know that. It's never against you. It's never going to attack you. It is there to help you. It's your best friend. And after a while, when you get enough reference in your mind, you may not need the reference anymore. Try to do this method when you're drawing you're using reference, you look at the reference, look away, and try to draw as best with your mind and see how much you remember. The more you can do it, your brain will be easier to do it and more susceptible of doing it, okay? So let's do that. Alright, so let's use an example. A good example of a good... let me use something expressive, something really fun. So like a action line or something. Or let me use, okay, let's use this, for instance. I'm going to draw this, like this. I'm going to do as fast as possible without really worrying about, I'm going to just try, actually, I'm going to do that one. I'm going to put it like this, okay? Alright, so the head is like this, alright? And then what we're going to do, we're going to make the body. Remember, it's not the spine. That's why I can move away from it, okay? It's not the spine, okay? And what I'm going to do is have our arm like this, okay? And I want her to feel as realistic as possible. I am not worrying about any, I'm not worrying about any, if this arm is the right arm, or I mean, I'm not worried about if this is adjacent to this. I'm right now just trying to get the overall concept. And look how I'm holding my stylus and pencil. I'm holding it very lightly. I'm not holding it tight like this, trying to have command. Don't have command over your pencil. Let your pencil have fun with you as just as much as you are trying to have fun. Don't make it into a chore. Don't make it into a job. Make it into something fun, okay? Alright, so I'm going to put our leg like here. Because you can always adjust this later, okay? We're just trying to get the overall idea out first, okay? I'm going to fix her waist, as I think it was a bit too small. That has nothing to do with proportions, it's just my feeling. Especially if it gives you a feeling. It has to convey an emotion, a funness to itself. So that's what I'm trying to say here. Don't get too caught up of if it's accurate, because when you do that, you're not having fun. You're just trying to be right. And right now, art is not about being right. It's about having fun, okay? So don't get lost into the such semantics of if it's like right, because that's boring. Being right is boring, I think. Okay? And what I'm going to say is I'm going to put our arm like this, and I'm going to put our arm like this. Okay, like that. Okay. Like that. Put our hand like this. I'm not even the hand's not even accurate. None of this is accurate. I'm just trying to be as loose as possible. Okay? Now I put her hand right here. I'm gonna put her like a little more lower here. Okay? That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to have fun. We're not trying to do anything insane. We're just trying to understand the concept of the drawing itself. Oop, gotta erase a little bit. Oop. Oh, it's not responding to me. That's why. Okay, that's why it's been having this issue. Okay. It's alright. I just realized. I want her to just have fun. I don't want her to be like accurate. You can always do that later. You can do it after the fact. I do appreciate all the love and likes, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. You are really good at this. All of the videos I've seen say to exaggerate the pose. Exactly. That's what you guys want. You want to exaggerate it as much as possible without breaking too much rules. That's all you want. Okay? You just want that, okay? And I always make my dummies always like this, so you have an idea where her eyes are. I know it's not the perfect, but like, I'm gonna make it a little more easy. Okay? Okay? Exaggerate it as much as possible. Your teachers might tell you this in art school. Exaggerate it. I don't know if they tell you this the order I tell you to draw it in, but always try to keep it as fun as possible. If you're like, you messed up somewhere down the line when you're not having fun drawing the character. If you're not having fun, stop drawing the character, draw something else. That's how I look at it. Don't worry about it being right, don't worry about any of that, okay? So that's one way of doing it, of doing concept art in that sense, okay? What do you mean by the rules? Okay, what I mean by the rules is this. When I say by rules, there are four things, or there's several things. One, you need shape with form. This kind of comes in the hand with both of them. Then after that, you should learn gesture. This is the exaggeration thing I'm referring to. After when you get gesture done, you have an understanding of this. Then you go to proportion. Proportion. Or you can go to perspective, either one of the two, but I think proportion may be the best option. Or probably perspective, because even if you're drawing it, you can get the proportions right if you do if you do perspective, you can proportions. Either which way, it depends on how you look at it. Then perspective. Okay, and then after perspective, then from everything after that is pretty much composition. I'm spelling that wrong. Composition, and then last but not least, color theory. That's actually the last thing you have to worry about. Okay? Color theory is the thing on its own, but right now when it comes to the drawing, it's these in this particular order. Just curious, what software are you using? I'm using Clip Studio Paint. Those of you who are very curious on what I'm using. So talented. Thank you guys. I appreciate the love. I appreciate everyone. Guys, I'm just letting you guys know, those who are brand new, I do have a YouTube channel, a Twitch channel, and I'm streaming to YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So if you guys want to jump over those platforms, those are perfectly fine. I'm trying to get to 1,000 on YouTube, so if you guys want to follow on YouTube and get YouTube videos from me, I will be very highly thankful for that. But if you don't want to, you can stay on TikTok. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to move over here. But I can talk to you guys on here as well. So if you guys want to have a question, if you want to talk on YouTube, if you want a more closer up look in that sense, you don't see my big old hands, you can just go on YouTube or Twitch and you can check over there. I appreciate it if you guys subscribe to the YouTube, because I would love to make more YouTube videos over there and all that's great stuff. But if you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. I am an art teacher. I teach anime art and color theory and how to draw. So if you guys have any questions or a case may be, please jump over there. And if you're wondering what my my YouTube is, it is hold on. There we go. It is art. Let me make that easy for you guys. Art Tech Trick, and they're all on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. Oops. I'm on Twitch. I'm also on TikTok. And what's the other one? Instagram. I'm on all these platforms. I know that's not great representation of those drawings, but it is what it is. So if you guys want to check those out, you can. I also have it open over here. If you guys want to check that, it's right. Let me see. Instagram. Here it is. You can just take me. You can go right here. I'm just getting those of you on TikTok. This is mainly for people on TikTok. So if you want to check out my stuff there, if you're a new streamer, if you want to get into art streaming or what case may be, my recommendations are over here. If you can see it, I don't know if you guys can see it very well. It's over here on Instagram, Patreon, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube, and all that stuff. If you're looking for commissions, I also have it up there as well. Now, back to what I'm saying. Now, what I'm saying is this. Just up. Thank you. I appreciate it. Where is Brianna? Oh, Brianna. Where is she? Hold up. Hold up. I'll bring her up. Sorry. She's here. Don't worry. She's here. The cow. She's right here. Hold on. Hold on. She's coming through. There she is. There she is. Let me take her out. More closer. We made her the other day on last class. That was last Tuesday that passed. Literally this Tuesday, it was just this week. She is part of the Architecture family. I hope you guys enjoy her. She is a cow strawberry. A strawberry cow. Her name is Brianna. Or, Benna. Benna, it's Benna. I said it wrong. She's part of the Architecture crew. So if you guys would love what you see, she's so cute. I might make her into a plushie for you guys to get her one day. I want to actually make her into a plushie. That'd be so cool. She's so adorable. Yo, Clip Studio X. EX? No, I don't have Clip Studio EX. I do have Clip Studio Pro. That's more focused on drawing and webtoons, and I think the other one focuses on animation and webtoons, if I'm correct. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that, guys.
I'm so tired.
Hold on. Let me get the charger real quick. Let me plug this in, and then we can keep going with the line of action, and then we'll go back to hair, and then we'll go back to clothing. We'll just get this charge in, and then we can come back to what we're doing. Okay. Now,
Guess we can rest a bit.
for the line of action, what we're gonna do is this. We're gonna do another drawing representing the line of action. Where's the... Hold on. Where is it? Got it. Ah! Pull this. Got it. Sorry about that. Have to plug this in. I'm curious. Do emos... Okay, I did read that. Okay, so we're looking for the line of action of something much more expressive. So let me move Benna over here in the corner so we have more room. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna do another drawing in a more perspective-like tone, so we can get that out of the way. Okay, so let's get one with circle like this. And I remember, and I need to mention something. When drawing the head, there's two ways of doing this. You can do this, there's three ways actually. You can do it the way I do it with the Luminous Method. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about, those who are art students. You know the Luminous Method, where you use the circles and you try to map out where the head is. Or you can use the circle method still, but you can just kind of wing it, in a sense, using the cross and all that stuff. Or you can use the square method, so you make a circle, right? And you make a square inside said circle, right? So what happens is when you make the square inside said circle, the way you drew the square will represent where the placement of the circle is. So let's use, for example, when you're drawing the circle, when you're drawing the square, what we're seeing is from a top-down perspective now. Now from this point on, everything from this point is going to be from a top-down perspective. So we're looking from the head, literally from here. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So that's one way you can do it, okay? So, like that. Okay. And then from that point on, depending on how you draw your character, you can have your character standing in perspective in this sense. Okay? You put his arm like here. Oh. Okay. 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 It's not the perfect perspective stance, but I'm just saying in general. So that's one way you can do it. I think I made that a little too big, but that's one way of doing it, you know? So there's ways of drawing the head in other ways, okay? So you can see it from a perspective, like I can do it again in a different perspective in the sense of, let's just say we'll do a circle, right? We'll do another square like this. Or, I'll put it this way. Let me do it this way. Now, I'm drawing the head like this. Now we have the individual looking this way, right? You see that? Now we have the individual looking this way. It's not the perfect, but I'm just doing this really fast, so I'm not trying to be delicate with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's one way you can do it, to have the arm. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like that. I miss the square. Oh, you missed the square part? That's okay, I'll go over it again. Okay, I hope you guys are getting whatever information from this is easier for you guys. In that sense, I'll try one more time and then I'll move on to an action pose. Okay. I'll use something really simple so it's not too complicated when doing this. So let's just say I made a circle, and I made a square like this, like this, like this, like this, and then like that, and like that. Now from this point on, now we're looking at the individual from bottom down. What this means is we're looking at the chin of the individual like that. Let's see. Now his head will be like this. Okay. Now he and or she could, their neck can be like this. Now we have their neck looking up like this, okay? I think it would be a good idea to post this shape somewhere. It can be helpful. I would put this mainly either on my Instagram where I have a bunch of references, or I'll put this on my Patreon for those who want to get more information on this. Let me see. I've never seen the square before this. See, yeah, it's a method that is being taught. If you check on YouTube, there's a bunch of them like this. You'll be surprised on how a square can make a difference than just drawing it the typical way with the circle and the cross face and all that stuff. I think sometimes the square can be a lot more accurate because it keeps you more in balance of where your subject is looking. So that makes more sense, okay? So let's put it this way, like, let's use the typical, let me use this one for instance. I'm gonna make this one like this. Alright, and then we're gonna make a line of action like this. And we're gonna have some fun with this. So what we're gonna do is do this, make the neck. Okay. And we're gonna curve a little bit. Not completely, because like you want to exaggerate, but you don't want to make this into your spine. You just want to make it, just have an idea where you're going, right? Have an idea where you're going, right? And then what happens, you make a leg like this, and like this, because remember, the leg, there is a gap. The leg doesn't really touch each other like that. Thank you for the present. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It makes much more sense to make it, especially when you're drawing in perspective. Yes, especially in perspective. That will help you guys. If you guys are really having trouble with that, draw your characters in squares. Trust me. It'll keep things more in line, especially if you're using lines like that, because I can tell it's kind of hard to do it in perspective when you're using a circular, soft type object. It's really hard sometimes, but only pure I think with more experienced type drawers can get it. I don't think you have to be a super professional to learn it, but it's one way you can do it. Okay, let me put the like this. Okay, like that. And what we're gonna do, gonna make the breast like this. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna put the hands here. Okay, and hands here. Remember, I'm not focusing on accuracy. I'm not. I'm just focusing on the idea of it. Because once you have the idea of it, making this more accurate it will be a lot more easier and fun in that sense. Let me see. I want to ask something. What's the difference between girl and boy basic anatomy? The difference between, and I did a list on this on Spider-Man and Spider-Gwen. The difference between a boy and a male and a female anatomy is that boys are more square, more strong, more square, more not rock shaped. What's the right word? Square shaped in that sense. So I'm going to do the same thing with the boy here. Like girls are more curvier. Their arch goes inside the arch goes inside them more easily. They're more round shaped. Even if they're overweight or even if they're super muscular, girls are still considered more curvier. So if, like, just for instance, you have a very muscular character. I did a YouTube video on this. I explained this in detail. between lean women, more normal-sized women, overweight women, and muscular women, all shapes and sizes. So what I said is that when you're dealing with women, they're still going to be ultimately curvier, even if they're muscled up to the neck. So a woman who's muscular will still have a dent into their waist in that sense. Compared to men have love handles. The love handles go inside the man. The love handles on a woman, I think, arches out. Okay, so that's one way of putting it. Okay, so let me put it this way: the neck is like this. It's more straight. It's more. The arms are more robotic in the sense. Okay. You can see the difference between the boy and the girl. I'm gonna make this easier because I can't switch between my eraser because the thing's acting stupid today. So I'm gonna be like this. Okay. Like that. And what happens, I'm gonna make this head like this. And remember, there's a difference between the head and between the boy and the girl. So for instance, if I'm drawing a boy, the head will 9 times out, even if it's a protagonist from an anime, 9 times out of 10 the head is softened, but the chin is always like harder. It's more flat base. I'm gonna get more zoomed in on this so you guys can understand. Hi again, yes. Oi. Guys, if you have any questions, would you put those study sketches somewhere? Yes. I usually put them on Instagram or I put them on Patreon, especially, and I put the PNGs there as well on Patreon if you want to get them. I have a 30-day reference sheets that you guys can access if you go to the Patreon. It's all there for you guys to use. They're all in bikini models, so you can use them as dummies and stuff like that. As resource to learn and all that stuff. Thanks for asking. No problem, guys. If you have a question and you don't think your question is going to be seen or answered, put it in the questionnaire. It'll let me know where the question is, and I'll definitely get to it. I will not ignore it. I will not ignore you. Oi, hello. Is that cow always there? Yes, the cow is always there. The cow's there. He's right here. Just that she's just not being seen because I'm doing the lesson. So what I'm saying is males' heads are mostly a chin that's really hard-edged. Okay? Female, let me copy and paste this. I can't even take this. I don't have to redraw this. Paste. Got it. I have to reach for that. Okay. Now, I'm going to pull this on the side. Oops. I'm going to pull this on the side so you guys can see it. This. Now you have 2 heads, right? So what the difference between how you make this more female compared to male? These are 2 male heads. You can make this female easy. So one. So go close here with this so I can back this up so you guys can see it better. There we go. So this. Okay. And what you do, anime female heads are more pointier. They're either pointy or softer, either one or two. They're more soft, depending on how your style is. You can actually draw them soft like this, but usually they come off more chubbier in this sense, more chibi-esque if you do it this way. So if you want more of a more serious type, like let's just say Sword Art Online or Dragon Ball or what it may be, the heads are usually more for females, more pointier. So I'll take away the softness. I'm just showing you as an example. That's why I put the softness first. So what we can do is this, like this. Okay. Like that. The head is a lot more softer. It's much more thinner in that sense. Okay. So that's the difference between, I don't know if you guys can see it. What type of art slash designer? I am an anime. If you're referring to me, I am an anime artist. I do anime-based work. I do everything anime mainly, but I do some realistic stuff when needed. Any tips on foreshortening? Was speaking about that just today. So, tips on foreshortening, you always know one thing. The bigger something is, these are the rules. The bigger something is, the smaller something is. I mean, the bigger something is, the more bigger something is, the more closer it is. Okay? The more far away something is, the smaller it is. That's how it works. So, like this big, small. Okay? So, like, let me use an example. Like big like this. This. To the point that it looks like it's going further away. That's how it works. That's how you can make something look more closer. And then also, if you're doing with human bodies, this also lays back to the idea of gesture. Because if you understand gesture, you can make it more fluid. If you make it more fluid, you can also apply those rules of being oh yes, I forgot about that. Thank you, Bacon, for letting me know on that. So okay, so for instance, if you also, other than something being big and something being small, you can also make something even more closer if you thicken the lines. Something more thickened and something more thin lined is further away. Okay? Because nothing's thicker when it's farther away. It gets thinner when it gets farther away. Thank you for for reminding me, Bacon. I appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you have any your light in April draw? Oh no, I have not. I know what you're talking about, the anime with the song. Okay. No, I have no artwork around that anime. I never really saw the point of drawing any characters from that, but I am aware of the anime itself. Sad story, but like it's a sad anime, but it's also very uplifting, I guess you could say. But it's really sad to watch that. So let me show you the difference between male and female. So males are more, and heads, more stronger, I keep saying stronger, more square, that's the way, square. Women are more rounded, most cases, but pointy at the same time. The chin is pointy and rounded. The males are more strong. Keep saying strong. The males are more square-based. Keep saying the wrong thing, what the hell? Square and strong. Alright, there we go. That's how you can look at it. Any types of foreshortening. Let me see. I think this actually really. Thank you. I definitely check out your Insta code. You awesome. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it, guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you. So I hope this is helping you guys in any way. But when it comes to bodies, which I was mentioning before, males are more square, but sometimes some males can be a little bit more, have more feminine-ish features. It's possible, but they still overall have more of a male body in that sense. Okay? So let me put, like, for instance, like this. Benna, gotta move it out of the way, hun. Ooh, Benna. Okay. Put like that. Like that, and then we put the arms like this. So, like, you know the little dance, the what do you call it? The cat dance, that anime dance. That's something you can use to be more, like, expressive in that sense. So that makes sense. Yes, I do lives. I do lives every Tuesday and Thursday, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. every Thursday and Tuesday. I've been doing this for about like 6-7 months now. I think longer than that. I'm not even sure. I'm not even for sure. Okay. Another thing is fat is stored a little different in females and males. Let me see. Let me put this here so everyone can see. So another thing is fat is stored a little different in females and males. An example being males are more prone to belly fat. Exactly. That is true. And when you're drawing females, because remember, when you're drawing a female, especially one that's overweight, she still has the curvature of a female, but it's just not, it's not as, I guess, desirable, I guess? Let's put it this way. So if I drew a female like this, with a gut and stuff, the curve will still be here. She'll still have her curves. And I mentioned this in a YouTube video when I did it. And I did this, I think I did 2 or 3 videos on this very subject. The woman will be like this. It'll be more like curved. And even no matter how big she is, she'll still have curves in that sense, okay? Alright? So I'm gonna just draw like this. I've drawn many females that's overweight before, anime style, in that sense. Now for the male, it'll be the same, but like the male will be like this. The breast of the male will fall in like this, and the belly gut, the gut will fall like this. Okay? Just like that. What the hell was that? Anyway, just like that. Okay? There's a difference. There's a difference between them. Oh, that's really cool. I just randomly found this, and I'm thankful. No problem. What's your YouTube channel? My YouTube is Artectress, same name, same everything. It is spelled like this. A-R-T-E-X-T-R-I-C. There you go. Those of you who are wondering how you get to my YouTube, that's the name of my YouTube, Instagram, all of them, all the social media is under the same name, same moniker, same icon, so you can't miss me. I made it easy for you guys, for the Patreon as well, my commissions as well, my website. You can always check out my website on my Wix website. It's not all that great, but it's basically what it is. Now, that's how you can distinguish the two. They're pretty much the same when it comes to arms, but arms on men can be still big, like still kind of muscular. You can have muscular arms as a big guy. It's possible, you know. Women can have big arms as well, but sometimes it can be a little more softer depending on how you want to draw your character. Women are usually seen as much more curvier in most cases. No matter what size they are considered more curvier, no matter what. Okay? That's how you can tell the difference. The male breast does not turn into breast like how women does. It kind of slouches and does this. Always remember that. It kind of just does that. Okay? So you can tell the difference between the two. I'll put this back on. IG, TikTok, and YouTube, and Twitch. They're all this. Okay? I'm sorry for my sloppy handwriting, it's just really trying to keep things high strung. Okay, also on her TikTok bio, let me see. Dark chart, okay. What's your YouTube channel? Okay, read that, answer that, thank you. Okay, is there any questions I missed? Okay, explain about layer, please. Okay, so with layers, you have to understand when you're dealing with layers. Oops, why did I do that? Why did I even write that just to do that? Okay, I'm gonna put this in the corner. Layers are really simple. What layers are, if you don't know, the basic concept of layers is just literally putting a paper on top of a paper. That's literally what it is. It's a transparent paper on top of a transparent paper. So like, for instance, if I were to, let me use this, let me take this off. See, we're on this layer right here, alright? So if I make a square, right, and then I fill said square, where's my map? Okay. Let me get, I fill this square, we're still on that layer, I fill the square, right, with this. What happens is, I will make another layer that's on top of this layer, and what happen is, if I take a different color, let's just say blue, the layer that I'm using for blue will overlap that red because it's on top of said layer, okay? That's how it works, okay? So if I wanted to put this red layer on top of that blue line that you see here, what will happen is I'm going to just grab this and then put it right here. And that red is now on top of that blue line, okay? That's one way of looking at it, okay? That's what layers are that's literally what layers are. Anything after that is pretty much blending modes. Blending modes are just literal filters. Let me turn this down a little bit. They're just literal filters, okay? So for instance, let's use the multiply layer. So like I'll go to here, where it says normal, because that's just a basic layer, it's nothing new, nothing special about it. And then I go over here, hit this, go to multiply, and what happens when I hit multiply, what happens is that the square is gone because, wait, why is it? Oh, wait, I picked the wrong thing. It is now darker, okay? Where I'll multiply on that layer, on the square, and now it's darker. Because what happens is multiply, it does two things. Multiply darkens your colors, but it also makes it somewhat see-through, okay? That's why we can now see through the square, because what allows is colors to come through. I think it's CSP. Yes, it's Clip Studio Paint. I'm back. What are we doing? I'm just doing a lesson answering questions. What program am I using? I'm using Clip Studio Paint. Okay, let me see. I want to see how I get to everyone's questions. You do live lessons? Yes, it's from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursday. I stream on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok all at once. I would be streaming on Instagram, but I'm getting a new phone for that, so you guys can get both ends of the spectrum. What is foreshortening? Foreshortening is literally the idea of, it's the illusion of giving depth to something. So like, for instance, if I made a giant circle, like I did before, I give it more depth by drawing something more circle-ish from a far distance. And it gets getting further and further and further to the point that it looks like it's further away. That's literally the essence of foreshortening, making something appear more closer or further away depending on what you're trying to convey to your viewer and or audience. That's what foreshortening is. It happens all the time. It's like, for instance, if you take your hand, like for instance, if you take your hand and place it in front of you, anything in front of it will look small because your hand's in the perspective of your eye, okay? So like if you put your hand in front of, like, I'll guess like your fridge, it'll look like the same size as your fridge because your hand is in a closer distance to your face. So like for instance, I'm using like my hand, for instance. My hand looks bigger than the whole tablet because it's so close up to your point of view, but the further it goes away, it looks smaller now. Well, you can't see it, but it looks further away the more closer it is, okay? So that's the essence of foreshortening. Things appearing closer or further away depending on what it is. What about expressions and how they are placed on the face? Okay, so for expressions, it's mainly about you understanding the face of the head, the eyes, the placements. This is where guidelines comes in. There's no real trick to this, really. It's just understanding your guidelines. So like, you make the circle, you make the cross, you know, the typical stuff. And then you make the head like this, okay? Alright, and then depending on what you're trying to convey to your, oops, I don't want that. Depending on what you're trying to convey to your audience, actually, I don't want to put on this layer because, oh wait, I'm on the right layer. Okay, I was just making sure. Okay. I wasn't too sure. Okay, so we'll go down, this, okay. I'm making this really quick and to the point. I'm not trying to put like crazy effort into it right now, but I'm trying to give you guys an understanding of this. So, we got our head and stuff like that. Now, whatever you do from this point, I usually make a dummy reference to make sure if I'm doing it right. So like, I'll make an eye. Oh, before I even get into that, use something called the ellipse. You can make the ellipse like this. It makes it more 3D-esque. It gives it a more 3D look. and then you can do something like this. Oops. You can do something like this. So it keeps it more of a ratio where your eyes are going to be. Alright, so you make an eye like this. Okay. This is such a basic way of drawing an eye. Okay. And you have to always make sure that your eyes are always on the same question. Alright, question. Let's say how, wait, someone asks, let's say how someone wanted to draw something flowery such as a nightgown on a character. How would you go about shaping it around the body so it looks okay? I'll definitely get to that because that was today's subject anyway. But I will get to that in a second, Nicholas. I will answer that. Okay, face. Use Q and a box to ask for them to see faster. I want to be an anime designer, but sometimes I get frustrated. That's part of the process. Frustration is a teacher in itself. Nothing's wrong with that. Actually, you being frustrated is a good thing because what that proves is that you want to get better. Don't look at it as a negative. Look at it as a plus. Don't ever look at it as a bad thing. Okay? That's how I look at things. Okay. But sadly my question was too long for the limit. It's alright. Do you see my questions? Let me see. The last question you left was... yeah, your question didn't come through. Try to shorten your question as best as you can. I'll try to interpret it as best as I could. Or whatever. Hey Architects, I have 1 month free of, hey Architects, I got 1 month free trial on Skillshare. What some classes you recommend we share? I would recommend the classes that would benefit you most in the sense of what you are having much frustration with. Like, I would do shape and form. Like I would say shape and form, gesture, proportions, perspectives. I think since you have Skillshare, what you can do is what you should learn is shape and form, then I would learn gesture, then go to perspective, and then proportions. Because perspective is the longest one you're gonna have an issue with, but if you have a good concept of the first two, I would go to perspective. Because they're gonna teach you shapes anyway by doing that. So I would go to perspective, and then I'll go to proportions next. Because the proportion thing can be actually solved easily if you just use lines of adjacency from each other, pretty much. Let me see. My nanny heads always looked shorter and boxy when I try to do a nanny tips for making. Okay, let me see. My nanny heads always look short and boxy when I try to do anatomy tips for making it more curvy. For the head, like you want the head to be more curvy for like your females. Is that what you're trying to say here? That's what I'm assuming. Okay, so for expressions, you have to make sure that when you're doing expressions, it just mainly means if you know the placements of your eyes, your mouth, your nose, you can pretty much get away with anything. But you have to be aware of what you're doing. So like if you have an angry character, right? You have to be like aware of the wrinkles, the eyes, the nose placement, the mouth. You know what I'm saying? And it really depends on because there's no real wrong way of learning how to learn expressions. It's all about your placements of the head. So I wouldn't even worry about expressions. I would worry about your head and placements. Learn to make your guidelines first. Once you have your guidelines and understand where like eyes and mouth and all that stuff goes, mainly most of those expressions won't be much of a problem. It'll be much easier to deal with in that sense. Because there's no real wrong way or right way of, like, there's no real method. There is a method, but it's not that serious. You should learn your heads first, your eye placements first, and then everything else comes in fruition. Okay. Like when I try outline heads, it always looks smaller and boxy and out of place. So that means there's two things that's going on. you're not flipping your canvas. What I mean by this is, when you say boxy, like for instance, let me say if I'm drawing the head of a character, right? Like if you're drawing the head of a character, like a male, male necks are usually very thick, not too thick, but thick enough, thicker than usually most women, and it has these breaks here, and then you have yourself a male shoulder to neck ratio, okay? But when it comes to females, females are more softer, so like because they are softer, the necks are more curved in, like this, but there's still this break here. You must have that break, but not too big because they look like they have giant traps. If that's what you're going for, then fine. And then it's much more curvier in that sense. Women's necks are much more curvier, but not too curvy that it looks like a vase. It's gonna look weird. It's gonna look like your neck is being like concave in some weird way. You don't want that. You want that neck to look as feminine as possible, but also as realistic as possible. Okay? And you have this break here, these two little breaks, and then like this. Okay? That's what you want for females, okay? And remember, the head for females are usually soft and pointy, most cases. Okay? Now, to answer the question of the flower thing, the flowery outfit, let's go back to what I was doing before. Okay, so the flowery outfit is how it works, is like this. Like the nightgown thing. So, understand your hems, because this is what Zoe Hung was talking about. I will get into that in a second. Hey Artex, I got one. Okay, right. Can you go over that again? I would go over the fact of when you do Skillshare, I would do the things that are plaguing you most. If you think you have a good understanding of shape, if you have a good understanding of gesture, when I say shape, I mean shape and form, like your squares, your circles. If you understand your forms, then like the three outfits of a square, or whatever the case may be, if you understand those two things, fine, good. Now you move the gesture. If you have a good understanding of gesture, then move to either proportions or perspectives. I will go to perspectives because that's going to probably take the longest of the rest. Oh wow, I can put actual filters in here. Did not know that. It's kind of cool. Wow, that's kind of cool. I didn't know I can put actual like filters through this while on stream. That's kind of cool. That's so... Oh, I'm so sorry guys, I'm just doing this. I'll put it back on original. None or original? I'll put original. Okay, make it easier for you guys. So, to make it more boxy out of place, you need to... Because when you flip your canvas, you will see why it looks out of place. Because most beginners don't flip their canvas, and when they don't flip their canvas, their character is like leaning somewhere, it looks off, it doesn't look right. That's what... Because imagine what flipping your canvas is. Imagine drawing a character on like the right side of... Like the right side the entire time they've been facing like the right side of something, right? So what happens is you're just like building a tower, and instead of looking straight, it's actually leaning this way. Because you've been stuck on the right side, drawing the right side, you didn't count the draw on the left side to balance it out. So what flipping is putting that box that's leaning to back where it's supposed to be in the thing. So if you're drawing a character that's looking right side, what you're supposed to do is when you're done drawing the right side, you flip it, and then when you flip it, it's gonna lean, but you're going to then, or it's gonna look weird, and what you're gonna do on your left side is try to correct it by keeping things equal as possible in that sense. And when you flip it again, it will get back straight, and it's gonna look correct to your perspective. That's why a lot of amateurs does this thing where they'll draw, think they have like decent drawing, and then after 5 to 10 minutes later, after not looking at the drawing, come back, they can see it looks weird, it looks wiggly, it looks something look off of it because they didn't flip their canvas. That's why. That's why you should always do that. Think of like the Tower of Pisa in Italy. Like think of it that way. It was built like the way it's built is it leans, and you don't want that. You don't want that leaning. You do not want this. You want it to be straight as possible. So the best way to do it is draw your character, flip it frequently. Try frequently flip it while drawing it. It'll save a lot more time because you don't have to draw on one side and flip it and do the other side and back and forth, because it sometimes gets annoying. My problem is, okay, let me see. My throat. Okay, my problem is that if I use a reference, I can do it, but without it, it's like I never was able to draw. Okay, that's normal. That's okay. Okay, a bunch of professionals use reference all the time. Okay, nothing's wrong using reference. What you're supposed to do when using reference is use reference as a guideline to understand what you're drawing, right? So after a while of using reference, what you should do is try use reference, right? And then when you're done using their said reference, like I did for this, what I did for this is that you look away, don't look at the reference, and try to remember as best as you can of what you remember from drawing it, okay? That's what you should do, all right? And then see how far and how accurate you were before. After a while of doing this, it'll take a good 100 times of doing this. You will get a better understanding of memorization. Your brain will get more used to this, just like you use, like before. It's a lot like when you started using reference. I'm pretty sure when you started using reference, you couldn't do it. Now, after practice of doing it, now you can use reference. Now, without reference, you can't do it without it. So what you're supposed to do is use the reference, look away as long as possible, see how far you can go without using the reference, look back, see how accurate you are, and then vice versa. After a while of doing this, your brain will do things, it'll make sense of shapes. So the best way to do this is make shapes out of this. So for instance, I'll make shapes out of these legs, like it's a big shape here, and it's a big shape here, and there's a shape here, and a shape here. When you break it down in shapes, it's easier to look at the drawing, because what happens a lot of beginners do, they look at the whole reference as one shape, and that's where they mess up. You're supposed to break it down in pieces. If you break down the individual in pieces, like this leg is the leg by itself, the leg by itself, the torso by itself, the breast by itself, the arm by itself, the neck by itself, the head by itself, the arm. When you start doing it like that, it'll make things much more easier to break it down. Okay, can you go over it again? Did you hear me crazy? I hope I got to you. I hope I answered your question. Good tip, architectures. I'm proof it works. Now I can draw a lot better. Things work out. See, guys? See? Without reference. See, that's how it is. It's all about practice. Number one thing. Hey, Bubs. I see you, hun. Okay, I love your videos. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope this is helpful, guys. Thank you guys for being in here. I do appreciate it. We have an hour till I have to leave, so get your questions in now, guys. Now, Nicholas asked me a question. He asked me about, let's say, how someone wanted to draw something flowery, such as a nightgown. Fine. A character. How would you go about shaping it around the body so it looks more natural on it? Okay, so let me get my reference real quick. Let me pull out reference. I think I can pull out one right now. Okay. We're going to go up Pinterest right now, and we're going to use a nightgown as a form of reference so we have an idea what we're dealing with. Okay. Now I know why you didn't answer. Yeah, I'm working, hon. Did you need something? Is everything okay? Okay, let me see. Let me type in, you guys, and I also recommend, if you want to get better at drawing and get good at anatomy, try using real life things. But I understand how that feels when people tell you, especially a lot of teachers will tell you, yes, everything's fine. Okay, I'm just making sure that you're okay. Nightgown. What you should do, if you're discouraged by drawing realistic things, what I would do is find a middle ground. So for instance, if you're an anime artist and you really want to draw anime stuff, or you want to draw chibi stuff, what I would want you guys to do is this as a teacher, as me as an art teacher, an anime art teacher as well. What I would tell my students is this: try to find a medium of trying to draw in your art style, in your preferred genre, alongside it. So mix the two. So try to draw as realistic as possible by keeping that anime aesthetic still intact, so you don't feel like you're just abandoning that whole thing. I think that'll be a lot more encouraging to students than being that teacher and saying, no, stop drawing anime, it don't mean shit. Don't do that to them. I don't think that's cool because what happens is, majority of most kids who are into art is because anime is usually their gateway to art. It is what it is. Majority of most kids from the 90s up to this point, most of them are coming, or even the 80s, because I know Dragon Ball came out in the 80s. From the 80s up to this point, anime has been a great influence and staple for most kids in their age or so. So telling someone to stop drawing in that particular style, I think is damaging. I think what you should do is try to find a medium and try to teach them how to draw realistic alongside that. I think mediums like Cowboy Bebop, Berserk, even I think Dr. Stone, or what was another anime? Or Akira. They walk down this aisle of realism in anime. If you can find that aesthetic, if you can find that balance, you don't feel like you have to draw realistic. I think that'll actually more encourage them to draw more realistic, just to see how far they can go with their anime style till it's totally gone. And I'm not saying for it to be gone, I'm just saying how far they can go without them polluting it with just being realistic. Because let's be honest, most students doesn't want to draw a rock realistically. They want to draw that rock as stylized as possible, a lot like Ross Ross or Lafferty, or like people from My Hero Academia, Dragon Ball Z, Akira Toriyama, Hunter x Hunter. I forgot his name, the guy who made Hunter x Hunter. Or even from the dude who made Soul Eater. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So if you can find that balance, if you can find that medium to teach your students to understand. Did you say Ross Dross? Yes, Ross Dross, for example. Look at his drawings. They really hit that really slick, that really sharp anime type aesthetic, but yes, still bounded in reality in that sense. So I suggest to do something like that. Hello, Haley Davis. Welcome to stream. Love your picture of the fox. I really do enjoy it. It looks really cute. Nightgown aesthetic for nightgowns for women. Okay, there we go. So let's answer this question. That looks pretty good. I love his art and it captures a lot of things. Exactly. So, but I would do recommend. In my opinion, I don't think Ross Dross's YouTube videos help too much in explaining. I think they're very crash course-esque. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying they're just really fast-paced. I think you can learn more through Ross Dross's work if you be more of a Patreon to him, because I notice in Patreon he gives more explanation, more life into his work by explaining his process from point A to point B. So that's how it works. Guess what? What exactly? No problem, Haley. And what are you asking? Let me see. So a nightgown, for instance, let's say for this pose, the nightgown usually fits. Looks pretty good. The nightgown usually fits somewhere in the thin side of stuff, like I mentioned before. So we're looking for thickness, weight, type clothing, gravity, and such and so forth. So because nightgowns are really thin, it's gonna wrinkle a lot. My leg can open and I love my vids. Ooh, I hope your leg heals. And I love the vids. Thank you, I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much, Haley. I hope my work helps you out. I think that's what you're referring to. I hope it really does work to help you out and all that stuff. So, like, for instance, I'm gonna bring down the opacity on this on the dummy that I have here. If you guys would like to see a PNG of this dummy, I will put this dummy in my Patreon, so you guys can get access to it as a PNG, PDF file. Those of you who are in digital art, and you can learn it. I'm gonna leave all the outfits that's in here that I did. They're all sketched out, so you guys can have fun with that and stuff like that. So if you guys want to be a Patreon member, I will post this in the Patreon tonight. Okay, I cut my leg. It does. Aww. I send you nothing but hearts and healing to you, Haley. You're amazing. Keep up the good work, and also just be careful next time. Okay, so let me put this. The outfit will be like this. So like we're gonna use like one of these as an example. So I'll use probably something very wholesome. So I'll use this one. So let me put this one. So it's gonna. Oh yeah, I remember something. The tube method. So the tube method will let you know where the direction of your wrinkles should go. please be aware of that. Your wrinkles will represent the tube that you're using. There's something called a tube. I learned this from Zoe Hung on YouTube. She uses a method of it like a spool or a tube or some type of thing that has a hole in it, okay? So the bottom of that or the top that we see it from. And since the tube is inside the stomach and we only see the top first, not the bottom. We see the bottom, but we don't see the bottom hole. We see the top hole. That means from that point, the wrinkles will be going this way, okay? It's not going to be like here and here and here, okay? And because the nightgown is very thin, and usually is thin, we're going to post it like this. We're going to draw it alongside the body, like this, because it's pretty much like technically a bra in a sense. So we're going to draw it like this, okay, like this. I'm going to make it very loose, and because it's loose and it's not that close to the body, it's pretty loose but not that loose, but it's pretty loose, we're going to have it dropping down like this, okay? Okay. Okay. Like that. Okay. I keep saying okay, I'm sorry about that. So we're going to make this more refined once this loads through. So I don't know if you guys can see it well. I'm not really sure, so I'm going to get more closer on this. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to make this easy for you guys to see. I don't know if it's easier to see this way or not. So I'm going to hold it for now. And what's going to happen, it's going to hug pretty tight to the body, but yet it's going to be very loose. I'm saying we're going to try and make it as loose as possible. Okay? We want that to be the way it is. I'm going to erase this. We want to make sure the perspective makes sense too. Okay. And since it's so like loose, and it does this thing where let's see. Can you post this tube method somewhere to come? Can you post this tube method somewhere to come? Yes, I will be posting this either on TikTok or on YouTube. Those two will be definitely there. Because this is something, and also guys, I will also give you the idea that Zoe Hung taught me this on YouTube. If you don't know what she looks like or where you can find the video, I'll do it for you guys so you guys have something to reference to. Just to be kind to all of you, because you guys have been nothing but amazing to me today. So we're gonna go to YouTube right real quick, and what we're gonna do is that Zoe Hung is right here. Okay. She's right here. That's her face, right here. And it's Zoe Hung. And if you guys want to learn how to draw clothing, I suggest, those are on, I'm going to show you the screen, I forgot. Okay, there you go. Those are also on Twitch or YouTube. You can check here how to draw wrapping clothes, drapes, folds, pipe folds, all these things you can learn and know these terms, because this will help you in your journey of making your characters more realistic in their clothing. So when you draw their clothing, they don't feel weird, they don't feel strange, it doesn't feel like they're floaty or a case may be. I suggest you guys check out her YouTube videos. It is amazing. I've learned a lot from her. I'm still learning as we speak, so gotta go. But thank you so much for the tip. It was helpful. No problem, guys. Guys, it's nothing but amazing for you guys coming here. I do appreciate nothing but the love and the help. I do appreciate it. You guys are nothing but just the most amazing team of viewers ever. It's just amazing. All the questions you guys drop is just beautiful. What gear are you using? I am using an X Pen tablet, and also I am using Clip Studio Paint as my program to do my digital art on. I'm using Clip Studio Paint Pro, just to be specific. How do you get over art block? I get over art block by looking at references. I go over art block by looking at other artists and see what they're doing, and try to challenge yourself. Also, you can also learn a lot from other artists if you do draw this in your own style type work. I did this drawing and I was looking at references a lot around 02 from Darling and the Franks. I just saw Bean in here. Hello, Bean. Anyway, and stuff like that. And you can make drawings like this all the time. I'll give you guys like ideas of what I've done before in the past. I've drawn. Let me see here. Let me see if I can get this in here. I've done a lot of work in the past. Let me see if I can get them one. Okay. Let me see. Okay. I need that. Raven. What's the last one? Who's the other one I did? It's somewhere in here. Okay, let me see. I think I've seen it here. Oh, here it is. There it is. I found it. Cherry, 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 cherry. Where's cherry? Ugh, I guess we'll bring this up. Okay, I think that's good enough. So I did drawings like 02 as a lesson last stream was on. Tips on drawing feet and hands. For drawing hands and feet, always know that when you're drawing feet are usually curving back to each other. What I mean by this is this. Let this load in and I'll explain why. And I'll get back to the nightgown because that's really important to get to. Okay. I'll get to that in a second. Let this load in and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, what's this one? Don't worry, that's nothing bad, it's just loading a bunch of stuff. It's coming through. Okay. Oh, okay, right, it's Clip Studio Paint. So I did drawings like this of Cherry from Streets of Rage. It's some video game that's on Xbox. Let me see. Whoop. This is a draw this in my own style. I'm working on this as we speak. You guys might see this later on throughout the week. I'll get this done and soon. This is also a draw this in my own style drawing for another drawing. I think it's on TikTok. I don't remember. It's on Instagram. Can't remember. Okay, so let that load up. About to finish loading up, and then we'll get to the point of this. Would you say? Okay. Would you say community college? Wait. Would you say community college drawing class good? I wouldn't say it's good, and I don't think it's bad. I think it's really I don't think going to college to learn how to draw helps all that much, because all you do is just wasting money. I think if you want to spend some money and feel you are what's the right word? You are justified in your purchase. I would put my purchase towards a Skillshare, a Udemy, Class 101. Those online for $10 a month instead of paying thousands of dollars for a class that you may not even open the book to. Not saying they're bad. I would suggest it's more cheaper that way. You'll learn more that way. You can always refer to teachers. You can always talk to teachers and say, just ask because if I should take it as an extra, I would not. I would, in my opinion, get a Skillshare. Do a Skillshare class first, or you look at some YouTube videos first. Go free first. And if the free thing feel like it's not working for you, I would go the Skillshare route. If the Skillshare don't work, if you really think online classes does not work in the sense of $10 a month, $5 a month, or whatever, or even $20 a month, I will go to college. But then again, I wouldn't even bother because I don't think they teach you enough in college. I think they kind of just waste your time in most cases. Much appreciated on your point. Because I remember I talked to someone who's a pure professional, who's in the industry, like literally industry, like balls deep in the industry. And I asked him the same question. Do you think going to school for art makes any sense? He said, kid, keep doing what the hell you're doing. I learned more on the internet for free than I ever did. And I'm I think he said $70,000 in debt going to art school. Or a case may be. Hey, Davis. Oh, let me see. I need to go to bed. I don't want to leave. Bye. Okay, later, Davis. I'll be here on Tuesday. So, always remember, I'm always on Tuesday and Thursday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay? So, hopefully to catch you again. Okay, thank you. No problem. Okay. So, I hope that answers most of your questions. So, you'll be able to draw things like this. Because I never went to art school. Never once. Never. I didn't even crack open a book. I just learned most of my stuff on YouTube. Everything I learned is from YouTube. I didn't even get Skillshare. Everything I learned everything on YouTube. I have never cracked a book open. I've never looked through a book to draw something. I just observed. I take in what I observed. I try to remember and apply it, and that's it. That's literally it. Nothing more, nothing less. And then I also did this of Aries. I mean, not Aries. Aerith. It was Aerith. Aerith from Final Fantasy. So you guys can have understanding of clothing. Even though the clothing may look okay, I still think it's not at its where it's supposed to be. So this is okay-esque in a sense, but it's not at that professional level that I want it to be. So this is something that you guys can learn if you learn the things I teach you. And then you can probably get better than me at it, depending on how fast and how much you interpret it and how much you put the time and effort towards it, or case may be. All right, so let's keep going. So to answer that question again with the whole the nightgown thing, for the nightgown, you gotta remember how thin the outfit is, how thick the outfit is, how much it will apply to the body, and how much the individual's moving. But because it's such a thin layer of it's almost see-through, if anything, most cases is a nightgown, it's gonna wrinkle like no one's business. Nearly every movement it's going to wrinkle. Nearly every movement you do is gonna wrinkle. And that's great because you know where the wrinkles are. Well, you know it's gonna wrinkle, there's no question. But the frustrating thing is how realistic are you with the wrinkles? So to be realistic with the wrinkles, you must understand the tube method. The tube method lets you know where the wrinkles are going in direction. One. So like, for instance, the tube, I want to use a dark blue. The tube is here, right? And because the tube is here, like I mentioned before, we see the circle. The circle's there. So since we know the circle we're seeing on top of it, everything from that point is going to be falling towards the bottom of this tube. So let's go to the leg, for instance. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I keep putting things on the wrong thing. I keep forgetting to do that. My bad. So like, let's go to the tube itself. So like, let's go here, and we go here, right? Like this. Now, let's do this again. Like this and like this. Okay? Now, we can see the top either we can see the, what do you guys see? The top tube or the bottom tube? I want to see what you guys can see. Are we seeing the top tube or we're seeing the bottom tube? I'm going to leave it for you guys to understand this. Bottom, correct. The reason why we're seeing the bottom is because the way we drew the leg. The way we drew the leg, we will not see the top. It's impossible for us to see at the top, the top of the tube, if we're looking from a down perspective, a bomb down perspective, a bomb top perspective. I'm saying that wrong. A bomb top perspective. And because we can see the bomb top perspective, the wrinkles will be going this way. Okay? The wrinkles are going the opposite direction towards the top, okay? So let's do this again. If I made a leg like this, correct? Are we seeing the top or the bottom? I'm gonna wait for everyone's responses for like 2 minutes. You can say bottom again. Bottom. Yes, we're seeing the bottom because we can't see the top. Because the reason how we can make this make sense is because the tube always goes towards what it's most closest towards. Correct. You guys are on the ball. Thank God. All right. So now you might ask a question, but Jace, what if we have an arm that's going straight down like this? How can we tell? Okay. So let's make the tube again. What you wrap around that arm will represent how far the tube is. Now, the way it's drawn will represent where the tube will be placed. Because we drew the arm the way we did, are we seeing the top or are we seeing the bottom of the tube now? Top, correct. Correct. Each, you're right. XD, you're right. Frank, you're right. Who else wants to say? Correct, guys. You're on the money on this. You have to learn this. This is something I learned from Zoe Hung. She taught me this. This is amazing. She's simplistic. She made this so simplistic it's not even funny. This is how you can understand how to make your wrinkles fall. So now we know that it's coming from the top and is going downwards because of gravity. Let's just say the nightgown was long sleeve. Now from this point on, every wrinkle will be falling towards down the hand. Okay, that's how we know. So we don't make no wrinkle that's going up like this. It's not going up unless it's like literally skin tight or something like that. But 9 times out of 10, that's not happening because this is a nightgown. It's going to be falling down. Okay. Towards the whatever it's falling off towards, okay? So that's how we know. So always remember when you have the tube, where the tube is pointing closest on where your perspective is, it's where the opposite, wherever the perspective of the tube of the hole. Because if I were to draw this again, let's just say I draw this again, just the humor, right? And I try to make the circle under it, there's no way in hell you'll be able to see it. It'll look awkward. This is how it is. If it looks awkward, it is not going to work. What about wrinkles crossing the elbows and knees? Okay, so when it comes to the elbows and knees, okay, so let's say for instance, she's bending her. Let me write a leg. Let me say like for instance, if I had a character and they was bending their knees, right? Let's say they're bending their knees like this. Okay? If I had a character and they was bending their knees like this, let's say they're just bending their knees like this, right? What happens is the tube, because remember, we're going what's most closest. You can only make a tube the way the leg is positioned, right? So, are we going at the bottom or at the top? This is the top. And this is the bottom. And because that's the case, the wrinkles, oh shit, gotta go back. It's gotta load it. Bottom. Correct. Everyone's right. Good job, guys. You're doing a great job. I might have to do an actual like lesson on this. I might have to give like actual like worksheets and stuff on this. But like, I might have to do it on Patreon. Okay. But what happens is since we see the bottom, because it's inside the leg, but because the leg is pointing this way, and because the tube only fits in wherever the leg can fit, within the leg, it's the bottom we're looking at. And because we're looking at the bottom of that tube, what happens is the wrinkles will be going this way. Okay? And there's something said for foreshortening. Zoe Hung said something that's true. The more foreshortened the leg is, let's just say the leg is foreshortened. Like, let's just say the leg is, how can I draw this? Let's just say the leg is really foreshortened for some odd reason. I need an example. I need some type of reference real quick. Let me use something really, like, exaggerated. You know what? Better yet, let's use, I just had it. Where is it? Cherry. see how Cherry's leg is, actually the way this drawing is kind of off, but like, you see how Cherry's leg, oops, you see how Cherry's leg is kind of like bent? This knee here, the lower knee will be wrapped more tightly because it's foreshortening. Or for the arm, for instance, it's foreshortening because it's back here. It's foreshortening because it's here, or the knee here. The wrinkles will wrap more tighter and show more on the foreshortened part than the leg that's literally standing like this, because the leg is not foreshortened. It's just literally sticking out. Something foreshortened is something that is your perspective is being obscured. Okay, so if your perspective is being obscured on the perspective and it's foreshortening, when you're pouring a wrinkle, it is wrapping more tightly around that particular body part. I hope I explained that right. The more foreshortened a body part is more likely there's going to be not only wrinkles, but the wrinkles are going to show more vividly because it's foreshortening compared to its foreshortening. Because so, like, for instance, if the leg was like the leg here, it will just wrinkle a little bit here and a little bit here and a little bit here and a little bit here. But if it was here, it'll be wrinkling a lot here because it's being compressed, it's being pressed on, it's being pushed in. Okay, I hope that explains much better in that sense. For those of you who didn't understand that, I hope I explained that well, at least. If it didn't, I'll try to explain it better, or I'll try to think of other methods of explaining later on. I'm back. Welcome back, Wolfie. Okay, I hope this helps. I hope... Now as we can see it, this is easier to look at. Oh. Oops. Yeah, this is easier to look at because now we have an understanding of the tube method. I can just draw this and put the bumps in easy without no question of how this is going to turn. And I mentioned this a little before I had to restart the stream today. It was that the clothing does not grow further than is meant. So, like, for instance, if the say the skirt was this to here, the ends over here will be the same height. So, like, okay, use an example. Let me take this away. That's on there. That's actually on it. Oh, it doesn't matter now. Let's use, for instance, she's wearing a dress. Okay. No, the dress only reaches as far as here. Okay? That means if I were to connect this dress, it's not going to get higher up or anything else. What's going to happen is that I'm losing my voice. What's going to happen is that the length of here to here will be the same. It doesn't grow any more further. It doesn't loosen any more further down. It stays the same height. Okay? I know that's probably hard to understand, or in some ways, but if you watch the video I recommend you from Zoe Hung, she will explain this much better than I would. I'm telling you. You will get this much better. I might make a TikTok on this probably tonight or tomorrow about Zoe Hung, and I would recommend her videos to you guys for those who are having trouble drawing clothing. I have no problem bigging up other YouTubers or TikTokers because they're there to help anyone who's willing to take the information. Information is information, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter if you follow me or you follow her. If it gives you what you guys came here for, I did my job, you know what I'm saying? So that's all it is, like the arm on, okay, like the arm on our right or left, exactly. So like, I'm losing my voice today, guys. I'm talking way too much. So like, for instance, if I made the arm like this, right? Or again, like this, or even here. From this here to here to here to here, you can see that it still follows that rule I mentioned. You see that? And our arms like this, I think. You can see that, right? See that? You can see the top here. You can still see the top. The side that you can see the most, even as slightly, is the one that you go with. So it's this way, 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 it's this way. Now for this side, I'm gonna erase this real quick just so it doesn't confuse anyone. So the arm is going this way, right? Right? And because it's going this way, the wrinkles are going this way. What about wrinkles crossing the... Okay, I think I know. So, with elbows and stuff, it always compresses. Because if your arm is doing this, especially this, with a long sleeve shirt like mine, like this, I don't know if you guys can see it well. Like, you can see the wrinkles. Oh my god, I'm losing my voice. Okay. So Zoe Hung videos goes further in detail to draw flowy clothing similar to the nightgown. Exactly. She talks about drapes. She talks about pipe folds. She talks about different types of folds that have different type of terms. I didn't use those terms because I know you guys didn't see those videos because it makes no sense. So I try to explain it in a way so you guys can understand it. So I would like for you guys, as a form of strange homework, just go to the video and watch it. That's it. That's the only homework I will ever give you, any of you guys. It's just refer to a video. That's it. I won't refer to you to do any real like homework like that because I don't think that's fun. So the only thing close to homework I'll ever give you guys is probably a YouTube video, and then I'll refer back to that YouTube video to see if you guys understand. That's it. Okay, I'm back. Okay, bye bye. Okay, later, Wolfie. Nice having you in here. Thank you, Wolfie. Appreciate you. Okay, so you put like this. Did you finish the feed hand question? I think. Oh, I missed it. Okay, no, I didn't do it. Okay, I'll get to it now. So let me put it in this sense. What is the name of the video? It's how to draw hands. Draw hands. How to draw figures and clothing and all that great stuff. It's right here. You can check it out. Excuse me. And this is her YouTube video. Her YouTube channel is right here. She has 333 videos. She has almost 500,000 subscribers. Almost 500,000. Yeah, almost 500,000 subscribers. And her name is Zoe Young. She's an Asian lady who's a fashion designer who does illustrations. She may not be doing anime, but you can still take these lessons and apply it to your work, and it will still help you. I'm telling you. If you're having trouble drawing clothes properly or whatever case may be. She gives you tips and tricks on how to get around that. Oh, you could have finished the full one first. It's alright, I'll get to that. That's gonna be our last and final thing to it. Drink some water. I'll get in a second. I'll get up. Oh no, what's wrong with my throat today? Okay, anyway. So what I'm saying is this: when you're drawing hands, it's always a box. A hand is a box. It's a strange looking box, okay? So when you're drawing said box, you always have to make sure that there's two things that are happening. The thumb and the hands, which is what makes the hands. But like, the hand is like this. Like a weird little house. Imagine like a little strange little house, right? And then you make something called, I call like ruler meters. What this does, it allows you to have a better understanding of how big your fingers are. So I'm going to draw this hand, the thumb over here. I'm going to put the thumb over here, just for the hell of it. Because remember that the thumb is not part of that. It's not technically part of the ruler method here. It's usually a independent thing by itself, most cases. Okay? But when it comes to the fingers, this is where most beginners tend to mess up. You have to spread them out in the sense of, first, consistency of the finger itself. Like, don't make one finger really like thick and one really big, because it's gonna look really strange. This is something that you have to practice on doing. And now, because I know that my pinky is only as big as here, everything else has to be up top or higher. Okay? So when you do this, I'm going to make a web that finger. Okay? Now we can make this like this. Alright. And now what's going to happen next is that I'm going to web this. Oops, go on. I'm going to be a little more cognizant of how I did that. That's my fault. Okay, there we go. And then we have our middle finger. We're just going to touch the tip of this, but not past it. Because if I go past it, the middle finger is going to be too tall and it's going to look too like abnormal. You don't want that. You want them to touch past, like past a little bit past the meter, or just be touching the meter. Okay? So when you do this, it gives you the well, it's part of the Mitten Method, but it is what it is. But you make this another web, and then you make this. Your pointer finger is usually longer than your ring finger. This is your ring finger. This is your pinky. Everyone knows that. This is your middle finger, where you throw a bird at people when you piss you off. And then this is your thumb, and then this is your pointer finger. Your pointer finger is slightly bigger than your actual ring finger, so you have to be just tall enough to surpass it so it feels like it's correct. Okay? That's one way of doing it. Okay? This kind of looks weird. That looks really weird, the way it looks. But I'm gonna go with it just for now. Just for the sake of, just for the lesson itself. But that's something you have to be aware of. Where's this? That just looks really weird. Okay. Okay. Oh, I know why. It's because I have it curving like this. That looks weird. It's supposed to be straight up. Okay, like straight. Okay, and straight. Okay, there you go. So it has to be in that sense, okay? I hope that explains much better. And even if in different angles, always go with this method of the Mitten Method or the meter method. You can do them both. But I'll try to do one of the two so it doesn't get too confusing in that sense. Okay? So like there's a bunch of references on this very thing. It's really annoying to look at them sometimes because it feels like they break it down so simple, but when you try to apply it, it just doesn't feel like it's working. It just means you haven't practiced enough with that method, okay? So that's one way of putting it. So, let me get to the feet. So when you're drawing feet, I always draw feet this way. For some odd reason, this is how I draw feet. I draw like this, put this triangle here, and then connect it like this, and then like this, okay? That's more like a shoe, if anything. But like when it comes to feet, to know that you're on the right feet, the feet always curve like this, okay? So if you have a character, like for instance, I have Eris here. I know what feet that's in front and they're right because the feet tends to do this thing where it curves towards each other. So because this is the right foot, it curves right towards left. So like this and like this, okay? What time will you stream again? Also, what PST? Pacific time. I'm Eastern time, so I'm on 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And if you're on specific time, I think you're 3 hours behind me. So if I'm on 6, you should be getting on to see me at, let me see, 6. 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. So 3 p.m. for you is my 6 p.m. So for you to catch me, if I'm correct, you have to get on at 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. for you. So it's 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. for you, but for others who are living on Eastern Standard Time, it is 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. I'm on Eastern Standard Time, so it's 6 p.m., 10 p.m. European specific time. I'm not sure about European. So what time is it for you right now? So, like, let me use an example next. Like, see how Cherry's foot is going this way, but really it's curving this way? Because this is the left foot. So the left foot's curving towards right, and then the right foot, even though it's going this way, it's still curving, so it's curving correctly. You don't want it curving this way, because then it's going to look broken. You don't want it curving opposite from where it's supposed to be. So it always goes like this. Okay? Foot always goes like this. It never ever does the opposite unless it's twisted and broken. Alright, 6:48. So it's 6:48, and it's 6:48 right now for you, and it's 9:49 for me. Wait, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, no. That's 4 hours. 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 7. So yes, you're on the right time. It's not 3 to 8. It's 3 to 7. My bad. I said the wrong thing. Because I stream every 4 hours to 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So that's how it works. Hey, Ramses. But like right now, if you guys want to learn this, it's a lot like the foot never goes the opposite direction of where it's going. Always remember that. It's because if you do it like this, it will break. You need to make it work by making the foot go this way. Always know that. So as homework, everyone, I want you guys to look at the Zoe Hung video. So if you don't remember what I meant, what she looks like, or what her YouTube is, it's right here, Zoe Hung. Watch only the videos I recommend, and the videos I recommend, I not actually watch all their videos, just watch the videos that says drawing clothes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think there's only 4 videos. It has to say drawing clothing number 1 or drawing clothing number 2. Anything else is outside that realm. So if you watch this, we're gonna talk about this on Tuesday again. So you guys have till today, the weekend, Monday, and then at Tuesday we'll be talking about this again. I will be focusing on clothing for a while now, and we're going to be seeing a lot of references on that. So your homework will be based on this. Watch the video drawing clothing, wraparounds, drape folds, pipe folds, all these things. I will be using these terms on Tuesday. I'll be rewatching this as well, so I will have some sense of, terms to refer back to, so you guys have something to learn. So remember, I'm here from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. For those of you who are on Eastern Standard Time, whether it be European or even in America, it's 3 hours behind. Every 3 hours behind. So you will be catching me. Those are in Pacific Time at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Those are Eastern Standard Time at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's awesome. Thank you, bro. Does anyone have any questions art-wise towards what I'm asking? Do you have any concerns, anything you want to let me know on? Ask now. But if you want to talk to me about that in private, just send me a message. Anything art-related on Instagram or even on TikTok, but I suggest just go on Instagram because that's where I'm at in most cases, or that stuff. So we have hit 3.3 thousand likes today. I am so proud of you guys. Thank you guys for the likes today. I think we're close to our goal to 10,000. We're very close. So let's hopefully get there. Those of you who are brand new, I appreciate you guys coming in. I thank you guys for participating in today's lesson today. It was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. You made Benna happy, the strawberry cow that we made. She is so adorable. I love her. I might make her into a plushie one day for my patrons. Those who are like loyal fans, I might make her and then make her into a plushie for those who want it. We'll see you soon. Okay, so to make sure I understood, a nightgown Wrinkles would usually follow the direction it is flowing. If a part of it is basically straight down, the wrinkles would flow the same direction. Correct, based on the tube that I gave you, the tube method I gave you, that Zoe taught me. So like if we're looking from up top of, like the way you drew your character, for instance, I'll use this example. The way you drew your character will represent the direction it was going. So like let's see this knee, for instance. If I were to draw this knee, it's only going this way because we can't see behind her, because we're not behind her. We're not behind her butt or anything. So the front of her is what we're seeing. We're seeing the bottom, not the top. The reason why I refer to it as a top because it's pointing upwards. That's why we know this is a top, and it's pointing downwards because that's how we know it's a bottom. When drawing, how to make it seem like the clothing is flowing in the wind naturally. To make it flowing through the wind naturally, you must understand that. Let me see. Let me use this example. So to make it more flowy, we have to understand the helms of our body. So the body will represent the helm, like Zoe mentioned. Make it like a tube like this. We pull it down like this and like this. Because it's curving the way it is like this, we know that the flowing of the tube will be going like this. It will be going in this direction. It's going to be going this direction, and the wrinkles will be flowing with that direction. Once it's flowing with that direction, if, say, wind is flying, the winds will be flying like this, in that sense. But we have to make sense of it. We can't just make squiggles like that. We have to be very aware of that squiggle, so it can stay more closer to the body, stay stuck to the body, and we have to make sure that it makes sense. So let me move Benna right here and move the fabric. I always have to say to you guys, depending on how, because remember, when you're drawing your clothing, the weight, the thickness, the gravity, the tightness of the outfit will represent the behavior of said clothing. So if she's wearing a jacket and she's in the winter time, it's not going to be doing this. It's not going to be like going with the wind. It's going to be stiff. It's going to be in place. If anything, if there's snow falling, there's going to be wrinkles and or folds because there are clothes. There's something weighted that's falling on it. But if it's something like thin clothing, like a nightgown or a sundress, or a case maybe that's really thin, 9 times out of 10, it's going to flow alongside the body. So like, because we can see the top of this, what happens is this curve will represent everything from this point, okay, till we hit here, okay, till we hit here, because we can only make the tube that the leg allows us. And now we see the bottom here, okay? Depending on what she's wearing will represent how the wrinkles will represent the what do you call this? The wrinkles that comes down, okay? So since we see it's coming up like this. Since we see the bottom is coming up like this, okay? That's how it is. And now, to make it more flowy, you have to be aware of the body. So if the body is here, if there's flowing clothing, it's going to go like this, and it's going to go like this, okay? And it's your job to make the lines fit in such a way that it makes sense, okay? That doesn't make any sense. Let me try that again. They made me do that. I was being stupid. Okay, there we go. So like this, right? And because I did that, what's going to happen is that we're going to connect this like this. Okay, there we go. That's literally how it works. I asked this question because the character I was drawing a reference sheet for wears a nightgown, so I was wondering how it would shape to know how to draw it on her when I finish shaping the body. First, shape the body first. Once you have an understanding of the body, like, remember, the nightgown is a thin piece of fabric, so you're not putting a lot of like heaviness. If anything, it's extremely loose, and because it's loose, what's happening is that it's just going to wrinkle a lot, and it's going to drape down a lot. I mean, it's going to drape because it's a thin piece of fabric, because it's so thin it's almost see-through. So it's going to be easy for it to wrinkle every 5 seconds. Okay? In that sense. So like this, and then like this. Okay, like that. So like it's like that. But I'm gonna get more good at this myself, because remember, I'm no master at drawing clothing. It's just that the fact that you understand these behaviors, if you can mesh these rules, you can do better at your drawing. What time will you be on so past PSD? Okay, I answered already. Let me see, what was the last question? I saw something. Oh, okay. Dude, that's awesome, man. Does that format also include how you draw hair? Yes, it does. Because what happens is when you're drawing hair, hair comes from a specific place on the scalp. Those of you who are Naruto fans, you might know what I'm talking about. Remember in the season, I think it was season 2 or 3, season 2, after the tuning exams when Naruto was learning how to do the Rasengan for the very first time from Master Jiraiya, what did Jiraiya tell him? The reason why he was having such an issue making the Rasengan is because, yes, the spiral of the hair. Because the spiral of the hair shows the perspective of where the hair is growing out of. That's how you know. And I'm not saying the spiraling, but the point it's coming from. So like I said before, the hair is coming from here, right? And because the hair is coming from here, this is what I do. I don't put the hair directly on the head. Because what happens is when you do this, you're going to make the hair too close to the body. And when you make it too close to the body, it looks really weird, it looks mad down, and you have this problem. You don't want that. What you want is put a point more higher up from the head, so there's a space between you and the hair. And what happens is, when you're doing the hair, you're not drawing it in strands. And that's a lot of beginners tend to do it. They try to draw in strands. Never draw it in strands. Draw it in chunks. That's how you know you can get a better understanding of hair. If you get it in chunks, you can have a better natural looking type hair. Okay? You can make a mohawk out of this. Like let me, for instance, I can make a mohawk out of this for this female. Like this. Okay? Like that. Because there's a point coming from the hair like this. Okay? It's not the perfect, but I'm just being very vague with it. But I'm trying to be very... we're trying to understand the concept. If you understand the concept, you can allow these to fall into place for you. Okay? Okay? So, so the size of the head from here, it's going to be like this. Oh, actually, I'm going to do this more better. Hold on. Okay. Like this. Okay. You see that? And then what happens is when we do this, we make it easier on us to make the hair like this. Okay? So she has more of a mohawk. Let me see this, and you guys probably gonna see it better in that sense. You see that? Or better yet, let's give her long hair, because I know that's mostly what most people want to know, because that's where most people have a problem. I suggest if you're having trouble with hair, try drawing short hair first, and then it will progress into long hair. Because if you can control shorter hair, it's easier to it's a lot like a girl saying it's easier to deal with short hair than long hair, because long hair is usually much more difficult to deal with in a sense. But if you do it this way, you'll learn better and have a better understanding. So let's put the point back here again, and we're gonna make our hair long. So since we know our hair is coming from here, everything from this point will try to refer back to, because the hair is just literally hair that is trying to escape the scalp in such a way that it feels like almost natural. So we're going to let that load in. Let's go load in, and then we're gonna put that in. So maybe not too high. You don't want it too high, because I have a YouTube video on this already explaining this very thing. But I'm gonna update majority of the tutorials I did in the past, because I'm more confident in my teaching now. But like, I'm going to show you how this works. So like this. Remember, I'm referring back to the drawing, to the pin point method of the hair. Okay? And because I'm referring back to it, the hair is not going to feel... Oh, actually, you know what? Better yet, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this down a little so it doesn't feel too hectic of the sketching, because we're just using sketches and we don't want that to be too distracting. This is why you should do the line art and do sketches and all that stuff, but right now we're not into that. We're just doing what we're here to set out to do today. So we're going to put the hair here, a little close to the head, a little close, not too far, and we're going to put the hair like this. I'm using a thick line, a thick brush, so forgive me if it looks kind of like over the top. Okay. Okay. Remember, referring back to this hair. Okay. Okay. In that sense. I know that's not the perfect thing because I'm using such a thick line for you guys to see, so that's why it's not going to look as nice as it should be. But this is something you should learn to do. You have the Kokome hair. Like this. And remember, her head is here. It's not matted on top of the head. Actually, you can give this more volume, if anything. It doesn't have to be directly right under it. You can make it more thicker if you want, and bigger in volume, so it feels more lifelike. So I can make more hair like this. I'm saying, like that. And then what happens is, you don't want to make hair just going out everywhere. You want it to make sense, and it falls on the side of the head. Okay? So, what the? On the wrong thing. Okay, there we go. And then we go like this, and like that. And then we have more of an understanding of hair. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk to that. Okay, so that's how you can actually apply hair in that sense. I'm sorry it looks kind of ridiculous because I'm using a thick brush so you guys can at least see it. If I use a thinner brush, it's gonna look really weird. And remember, I have pen pressure on, so it's gonna look really weird. But if you use these methods, and apply them, you can check out my YouTube videos. I talk about this very thing and teaches this so I'm more in depth. I will do a video on this on TikTok for those you can get some more of a crash course version of this. But that's pretty much it. What's up? Sorry I'm so late. I'm playing basketball. It's alright, bro. It's okay. I asked a question because... Okay, so I think I answered everyone's questions so far. Does that include no, actually. That's a good question. There is an artist I do recommend to those of you who wants to draw more kinkier hair, more curlier hair. I recommend her. She is one of my favorite artists. I think she is a black artist. I believe she is, but she is one of the best I've ever seen in my entire life. She has inspired me. Oh, she just posted just today. Her name is Nacho Arts, not Nacho, and she does great work. I love her work. I love the way she draws hair, and it's amazing. She represents a lot in the art industry for anime and for girls all around. So like, if you want to check out her stuff, I give her a shout out right now. Check out Nacho Arts. She is a great artist. She draws a lot of hair, from more kinkier hair, straight hair. She even has methods on this, on how to draw it and how you can get used to it. I'm trying to at least learn from her in that sense. I won't be learning how to draw hair better till I get the whole clothing thing, because I can draw bodies well, I can draw eyes well, I can draw nose well, I guess hands, feet, knees, whatever. I can draw, I guess, weapons and stuff, but when it comes to like clothing and hair, it's a hit or miss depending on my mood, but when it comes to clothing mainly, that's my problem. So that's something I'm focusing on for now, but once I get a good understanding for the next 30 days, grasp of this, I'll be making a bunch of references again for next 30 days or so you guys have references to that, and you can get those PSDs on my Patreon and stuff like that. Also, how do you know when you need to how to taper the clothing to the body or bunch out of the natural look? Okay, so when it comes to tapering, the body tapers depending on the, like, for instance, let's use this for example. It tapers and bunches depending on the tension. Like, see how Rosalina from Mario is holding this? The tension is high here. All the tension is being pulled to this specific point. And because it's being pulled to this specific point, everything from the waist to the bottom of the feet are being pulled this way. And because, remember, like I said, you see her legs. If I were to draw this right now, we call it the pipe method represents where the legs are going. Because the legs are like here and here, I know it's coming from the bottom. So from the bottom, everything from this point will be being wrinkled this way. Okay? So that's how you know. Use this method, use these key methods, and it will get you where you need to be. These is how I represent. I suggest if you want to learn even clothing from her, she does a lot of clothing stuff. Check out her stuff. You will learn a lot from her. I think she has I learned a lot from her myself. So if you come to, she has a class too. I forgot, she has a one-on-one class. So if you want to check out her one-on-one class, you can check it out and pay. I don't know how much it is. Let me see. Her class is, let me see. Achieve, That's pretty cute, gotta do thing. Did she reach her goal? I think she did. I don't know, it's not showing me. Oh wait, no, it's 300 achieved, Okay, I don't know where the price is. It should have a price, but if you guys can find it, please let me know. I love her work. I'm a big fan of her work. She makes great stuff. Okay. So I think that's mainly everything. Thank you for the follow, bro. I think we touched on everything today. I think I gave enough information for today. I enjoyed everyone today. Today's class was fun. I appreciate every last one of you guys for coming in, asking amazing questions. Thank you, Rancis, for coming in and asking questions, my dude. I do appreciate it a lot, and thank you for the follow, my dude. So with that said, thank you, everyone. I'm going to call it a night for tonight. I'll see you guys Tuesday. So we're going to continue this on on Tuesday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're on Pacific Time, it is 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. So write that down. Also for homework and somewhat of homework, so you guys can follow along what I'm saying. Watch the Zoe Hung video so you can get a good understanding of what I'm referring to. And the videos you should be looking at is the video saying drawing clothes 1, wraparounds, drawing clothes 2. I think there's only 4 videos. Only 4, so it's not like you have to watch every last one of them and you're guessing. It's the one that's saying drawing clothes 1, drawing clothes 2, drawing clothes 3, and drawing clothes 4. I think this is the 5th one, but I doubt it. So I hope that helps you guys out there, and we'll be talking more about this on Tuesday. I'll have more dummies to refer back to. I'll use my dummies. I'll make a few dummies over the weekend and post them in representation of clothing and practicing this, because this is something that we all need to learn, because how you can draw a character if you can't draw their clothes, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're into character design, anime, or where a case would be. I think we're close to 10,000, and I'll also be learning how to do animation as well. I don't know if I'm going to do lessons on that, because I'm going to be brand new to that myself, so I can't give any real lessons till I have a good grasp of that. But I thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. I appreciate the help. I appreciate the likes, the love, and all that stuff. And I give you guys nothing but my support and help. If you guys like what I do, if you guys enjoy everything I do here, I have a YouTube, the Twitch, the TikTok, the Patreon, and if you're looking for items that you want to buy in the sense of start your own drawing career, will it be whether you're trying to get into digital art or a case may be, or you want to get into streaming while doing artwork, or just streaming for gaming, or you can use this for gaming as well. There's hardware here you can check out from cheap to last. I recommend Clip Studio Paint. This is the one I have. And there's Clip Studio Paint EX. This is referring to webtoons and animation mainly. You can still do animations on the Pro version, but it won't have 60 frames, or I think 30 frames on this one. I think it's just I think it's just 24, the standard one for TV and stuff. But you guys can check out the tablets that are here. You can see what fits your criteria. They're from cheap to most expensive. So, and this is the one I use. So if you're wondering what type of tablet I have, this is the tablet I use. So check them out and all that great stuff. Headphones, microphones, all the stuff that you need to get started. They're cheap price and they're great quality stuff. You don't have to buy them all at once. You can buy them separately if you want. It's great for anyone who wants to get into digital art or want to start streaming, either for gaming or for just doing digital art like I do. So with that said, guys, I appreciate you guys. Have a great night. Keep safe. Have a great weekend. Watch those videos, and I'll see you guys Tuesday. your only homework is to watch those 4 videos, and then I'll refer to the pipeline, the pipe folds, all that stuff, those terms, so you guys can follow along. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a great night, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Oof. Oh wait, did I miss something? I hope I didn't miss any questions. I asked a question. Okay. Night, Nicholas. Night, everyone. Those are on YouTube and Twitch. Night, everyone. Those are on TikTok. I'm out. TikTok. Can't talk today. Later, guys. I'm out. I'm Artectress.